Hello, beautiful people of the internet. My name is Ryan, and welcome back to What Remains of Edith Finch. And what does remain of Edith Finch? I don't know exactly what that title refers to. I'm still trying to figure that out. I believe this will be the last episode of our playthrough, I think, just based on the supposed length of this game. So where are we at right now? Well, in the last episode, we learned the stories of Sam, Gregory, and Gus. And a little bit of Dawn, Edith's mother. We're sort of piecing together the curse, supposedly, of the Finch family and the story of why Edith is back here. Her mom has died, leaving her the keys to this place. After a light, we're piecing together a lot, frankly. I've been sitting here thinking about it. Dawn spent so much of her life trying not to tell Edith the truth about her family history. My guess is as an attempt to sort of prevent the curse from becoming real for Edith. However, it became real for Edith because Milton and Lewis both die, or Milton goes missing. And now Edith is in the same situation. She's pregnant, 22 weeks. She's writing a letter to her unborn child, it sounds like. Probably. And I think what we're wrestling with, I'm going to do my best to sum up, in my mind, what this game is about so far and what we're wrestling with in the last episode before we continue on to whatever is left. I think what Edith is wrestling with is sort of the reality versus the, how would I say this? The, self-fulfilling prophecy of the Finch family curse. What I'm looking at from this family, from an outside perspective, is a lot of tragic circumstances around the death of all of these people that I think in one view could look like a curse. I think on the other hand, I'm also seeing lots of, family-inflicted trauma, potentially addiction and related complications, potentially some abuse, which is kind of heavy to get into in this episode. But if I'm looking through the players here, we have Molly, who's sent to bed without food and dies of something hunger related. So just realizing now might be the fact that she just... Is toothpaste poison? Hold up, let me Google this. Let me literally Google it right now. Is toothpaste poisonous? Or was it in 1947? Is toothpaste poisonous? Can you die of too much poisonous? Of too much poisonous? Of too much toothpaste? Sorry, I'm doing the red thread thing. My child ate toothpaste. Toothpaste contains fluoride. Swallowing it can cause stomach upset. In large amounts, it can be seriously toxic. I don't know. I'm not going to keep reading. Anyways, what I was trying to get at there is I think there's a version of events where Molly's story is a curse. I don't exactly know how she died still. I think she might have fallen out of her window. I think she might have, poisoned herself. But either way, I think it stems from being sent to bed without dinner and this, potentially weird family trauma there. Barbara's killed in her own home by, I think, an intruder. But she has this weird, horror fixation that I really don't understand that one. That one's a big question mark for me, especially because it's the least reliable narrative. It's written from a comic book perspective, from somebody outside the family. It's a very interesting one. Calvin dies due to his own stubbornness, potentially, and then Sam turns that stubbornness into a sort of life motto that then sort of traumatizes his kids and potentially gets him killed. He's intent on making this photo work. The more you look, I just think this is my current kind of hypothesis here. The sort of belief that they might be cursed might be what's allowing these characters to make decisions that then get them killed in cursed looking situations. That's kind of what I'm at. Walter stays inside his whole life, walks outside, sees the glowing sun, and then gets hit by a train. I'm pretty sure that's the reality of it. It's always hard to tell, right? Gregory is just fully abandoned by his mother in the bath and drowns. And in a weird way, it was the happiest story of them all. I don't know that that's a curse. That sounds to me like parental neglect. Like, Gus, in a rebellion against his father, stays outside during an incredible thunderstorm and and dies there. Odin goes down with the house rather than... Anyways, welcome back to What Remains of Edith Finch. I'm just sort of sitting here kind of like... I think it's what Edith is wrestling with, and I think it's what we're meant to wrestle with too. And it's such a human... It's such a... What I like about it... I'm going to get to the game here in just a second. But what I really like about this so far is that, like... It's one of our most... It's one of our most human qualities. The ability to place ourselves inside of a story and therefore make meaning about... Like, inside of a narrative of our lives, right? Each of them, like, they tell a story about themselves, which they then hope to make true in order to make their lives meaningful. Odin is leaving Norway to come to the U.S., potentially get rid of this curse or whatever. And he hopes that that'll be true, but, like, this, like, ability to narrativize ourselves is a very human trait. But I think it has, like, a weird shadow side, too, right? Which is that you can believe the story that you're telling about yourself. And
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died.
And that can be a real problem. That can lead to...
At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
At the time. Suggesting the house continues to be built. It can lead to... Like, that can lead to really vicious circles of violence or spiraling self-harm, or... I think it's like the center of what makes humans humans, and it's also at the center of what makes this family the Finch family. We're going to Dawn's loft. So Dawn must have spent some time in India, because there's been a lot of reference to that so far. Kind of has prayer flags here, kind of. Old vacuum. Backpack. A bed. Holy Bible. Front door. Incense burner.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
Okay. Let's see what this game has to offer. I've ranted enough today. The teacher's calling. Maybe she worked as a teacher. Dawn and Sanjay. Republic of India. Where helping hands create safe places. Wedding presents for people. Relieve, provide, and sustain. Hello, namaste. 10 ways to teach critical thinking. Ooh, okay. Calendar here in a second. Immunizations for travel. Schedule eye exam, need prescription and frames. Don't forget visa application. College application deadline. This old ass computer. I love it. Freaking love it. What was she reading? The Constitution for Kids, Great American Poetry. All right, we got copy passport for volunteer center, meet with relieve rep, after school teaching pack, fly to India. It was June of 1987. Is that when she last lived here, at 19?
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
It's really cute. That photo of them is really cute. Okay, what am I missing here? Telephone. Is that everything? Oh, the window. Okay. Oh, yeah. The house keeps going from here.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Lewis was born a year later.
Okay. God, this is cool. This is the part that we saw from the road on the way up. These outdoor walkways.
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go.
That was... Sorry, I got to remind myself of the timeline all the time. 83. She left in like 87, right? A little bit later. Okay.
I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back.
Back here. Wait, sorry. Oh, when my dad died? Is that what that said? When Sanjay died? Aw. Damn it, I wondered. Aw. The gardening, by the way. Milton, Lewis, and Edith.
And to see kids in the house again.
These little toys. Aw. What a wild place to try and grow something. And Dawn. And Dawn's is the saddest, really. There's a couple sprouts there, but that's it.
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that.
Well, yeah, if you carry your history with you and you never are allowed to redecorate any of the rooms, yeah, the house has to get a little bit bigger. A normal family would just move the old shit out. I say that, but... I said this in a couple episodes ago, but one of my high school friends, very good friends in high school, when he lost his brother, they kept his bedroom the same for, you know... To my knowledge, it might be the same today. I don't know. They still live in that house. His parents do. And they didn't touch his room for at least 10 years. And I don't know that I would do any differently in that situation, you know? Like, when I don't know. I'm joking about, like, redecorating, but, like, when it's a tragic death especially, and the amount of tragedy that this house has held.
And for a while, things were good. Almost normal.
Assume nothing. Respect criticism. Ask tough questions. Think critically. Our family history. Fact or fiction? Lewis rules. I want to play this game. Fact or fiction for the family history. Give me a lesson. Recap it all, you know?
But it didn't last.
For a while, everything was happy, but it didn't last. Odin Finch. Aw. To Teach and to Learn by Dawn Finch. They're all... I've been thinking more about the library recently, right? I think it's possible that the line about the library, something like each Finch member is buried there, is buried somewhere in the library. I don't remember exactly how it was phrased. So many of them are authors. Relief effort ends in disaster. Oh no, a second earthquake. Is that how Sanjay died? This is also us during this game, the scientific method. I'm wondering if it means something like that. Like the books of the Finch family are all there. Or the journals.
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
Beginning of the end, Milton's 10th.
After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Okay, that's kind of creepy. 92. He disappeared in 2003, so this was just a year before the end. This is not OSHA approved, this building. There's footsteps, like a cartoon crime scene. That's a doorway with a handle. Footsteps here. This is some very cool shit here. Drawings of a stump. It's like architecture there.
I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family.
A gecko? Kind of. This is beautiful. God, this is so cool. Is that an elevator? Like a pulley system elevator? Huh. This mustache, like Basquiat, except as a 10-year-old kid. Mustache with a crown. All right, we got paints, a castle. It looks like an island off the coast of France that I never remember the name of, kind of.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
Oh. I love his hat. Every time he looks away, the guy does something. Spits something out, a chew. Sneezes something out. Oh shit, I can move so much. Oh my god, that was too... Shit. I didn't realize there was like speed control. Grabs a paintbrush. Paints this thing. Paints a doorway. The speed control is really delicate. This is so cool. What an incredible little idea. And then you go through the doorway. And take your bow. And then a lot of blank pages.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
Milton looks like such a cartoon. He'd be 27 now? 25? I guess we gotta check that door downstairs. Look at the rest of this house. God, this is so cool.
Mom spent months searching for my brother.
I can't
and she
believe that
sealed the
flip book
doors.
and how cool that is. That flip book is so neat. Oh, it's a direct relation to your door. I didn't realize that. Oh, look at the detail there. You can see a tiny inverted image of where we are. That's so cool. Wow. A tiny, like, reflected or like, weird version. Huh.
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
What a weird way to phrase that. Whatever Milton had found.
Mom
What?
definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself.
Mom definitely blamed Edie. Okay. That's a major piece of lore
After he
just got
graduated,
dropped.
he just spent more and more time in his room.
Lewis blamed
Until
himself.
Mom got him a job at the cannery. Everyone always told me to stay out of Lewis's room. Except Lewis.
Legalized marijuana. Everybody was like, Lewis is a bad influence. And Lewis was like, here, let me be a bad influence to you. It's made of a boat? I can't believe this house. This is so cool. What an insane thing. Okay, a little bit too much blacklight, I would say.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
No, I don't want to walk out. I just turning around. God damn it, every time. I was gonna say earlier, the flip book and the like amount of control. I just admire this game so much for the like very, what feels to me as a person who doesn't know a ton about video game development and like more experimental video games, feels super, maybe not innovative, but like very experimental and well done. This feels like a book that was on the shelf inside earlier, House of Leaves. It's just like God damn it. The fact that I can control the speed of the flip book to such a degree that I accidentally flipped through it way too quickly. It's so like there's immersion where you're just like in a pretty place and the sounds are accurate and it's all super ultra high level detail. That's a type of immersion, right? We talk about that in video games all the time. To my mind, real immersion happens not when the details are so accurate, but when you are so caught up in an activity that the sort of film, like the distance between you and the activity almost disappears. And when you introduce new mechanics, it's so easy to get caught up in that new mechanic. Like flying as an owl, jumping as a frog. There's probably been lots of periods in this game where for 45 seconds I've sat there not making any noise, just playing the mechanic. Because it's just like, it just immerses you, for lack of a better term, right? Like, and around every corner there's a new one. And in this one, it's going to be me smoking this hookah. No, it's probably going to be me playing the video game here in a second. Lewis graduated high school. Love it. Dawn poetry recital of 76. He's got a poetry recital of his own mom in here. The Red King's Dream. Alice in Wonderland? Oliver Twist. Wuthering Heights. Communist Manifesto. Lots of beer. Pills. Right beside the alcohol every time. PC for gaming. Letter from Dawn. Sorry, to Dawn. Stop, Droll, and Roll. Super trippy. Theodore's Quality Cigars, which is definitely does not have cigars inside of it. All right, let's see what this is.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Oh, and then he did, you know? The bad joke. I'm sorry. This game's so full of tragedy. I had to try and make a joke. Burning CDs? Wow. Medicine ball as a chair?
He was so proud of being Indian. I think for him, it was a way to be something other than just a Finch.
Oh, that's so good. Your identity, yeah. Your identity, like, being a Finch in a family with this kind of history has to be so full of... so weighty and so following you everywhere. Institute of Psychology?
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to...
Wow, a head and brain experiment.
I asked him to describe it.
Immersion. His brain began to wander. Pat your stomach and tap your and rub your head at the same time.
He said he started small. Imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about.
Okay, we have a maze to solve.
Then something
Labyrinth.
moved. Bats. And toads.
He looks like a wizard.
And things that have not names.
Okay, some inner darkness. This is wild. This is so cool.
He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself.
It's got to be really serious if the psychiatrist is writing home. God, this is so cool. And so sad.
But he found something more.
I hoped he'd find himself, but he found something more. Unless this is
I
hopeful.
worried about him then.
No.
Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss.
Would he get injured? I feel like
But
it's
he
a way
said
to
Lewis had become a model employee.
lose your arm.
Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on.
But at what cost?
I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first.
Are we
He
playing
told me
old
he'd
school
made a new
RuneScape?
friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia.
Huh.
He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger.
The imagination, the Finch trait.
He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won.
That was a video game-like sound.
They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
This
He'd
is
conquer
incredible.
a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis.
Minneapolis.
Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on. In Lewisburg, he heard rumors of a beautiful prince.
God, this is beautiful.
The prince was on his own quest for sinister serpents. He followed the sound of his electric sitar.
Oh, I was supposed to hit those. Whoops.
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound.
We're just gonna slowly fade into this game. His logic remains sound.
He knew the world was all in his imagination.
The fish are piling up. fish are piling up.
But he
Getting
was
stressed.
so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Wow. Really quickly, what I really admire about that scene is the obviously the overlaying of two worlds on top of another, to represent the sort of fleeing from the real world that we often do when we imagine things. There's that. The driving home of the imagination being a trait of the Finches, an overactive imagination, sort of. And the, like, they build in choices into that video game world, right? Allowing us to do the thing that he was doing, which is, like, choosing what it is that you're building in front of you. It's making me really feel kind of trippy sitting here playing a video game, I'll be honest with you. That was incredible. And now we're going to meld the worlds together with the Golden Palace door and then behind the scenes at the cannery, right? His door. Or his locker. Imperial Palace.
He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
Look at that light.
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
And there he is. A royal contempt.
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder.
The lands of wonder.
The palace would be
Transition.
packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him. His prince waited, holding his crown.
I love the cymbal players.
There was only one thing left to do. his head. And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Wow. That was beautiful. That was tragic. Shit. I really liked, that's my favorite one we've done so far, and that's the one that's made me feel the most, too. It's also clarified, I think, some things for me. I think Lewis is the one with the most obvious substance abuse. Finally, substance abuse is brought to the surface. And I think he wasn't the only one with substance abuse problems of some sort. There's the, oh man. If I had to guess, in the Finch family. That was really beautiful. I felt like he was either, you know, I felt, yeah, I don't know how to describe why that one got me so much, but it did. So Lewis dies to suicide, potentially at the cannery, which I think would be the only suicide in the family. Probably. I mean, I don't think you read any of the other ones as suicide necessarily. So that leaves us with Dawn
Lewis's funeral.
And Edie.
My mom told me to start packing.
Now we're getting to the night.
She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed.
So the flyers of missing Milton, packing peanuts, tape, empty drawers.
I understand why we left.
Cutting board, Dawn Finch kitchen. Yeah, can you imagine? I mean, in Dawn's situation, I couldn't stay in this house a second longer. Just losing everyone you love, and
My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
you just booked it out of there, or she helped you guys pack yourselves, or happy 90th birthday. Aww. Photo of visiting the Eiffel Tower. Teaching to learn. Work is publishing. Photos. Oh man. Sanjay's badge. picture of him, his uniform. O God, you have called your servants to ventures of which we cannot see the ending, by paths as yet untrodden, through perils unknown. Give us faith to go out with good courage, not knowing where we go, but only that your hand is leading us and your love supporting us. Through Jesus Christ our Lord, amen.
What happened that night had been coming for a long time.
Finally to Edith's room. Here's the thing. Edie is left here, but we've been to Edie's room. Did we miss something? There's no way, right? We'll swing
Maybe
back
it
to
should
that.
have come sooner.
They've been coming for a long time, and maybe it should have come sooner. A bird on the windowsill. Our room?
But it
Paper
had
crane?
to end one way or another.
Paper cranes?
All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
The books here are blank, minus those. Little Glass Slipper, Odyssey. Norwegian folk tales. Origami. There's a drawing, kind of like the one we saw earlier. A car. Like paper mache animals. Joining the great majority. Fancy folded something. Science of paper crafting. Call of the Wild. Happy 90th birthday. Rainier. Okay. Those glove things.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
The dinner at the
To
table.
our final night together, and all our final nights apart.
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
We haven't been to the library yet. I just remembered. Edie's not gonna leave. God, it is dark. Go towards the light.
the
Final
power had been
gift.
shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles.
Yeah, we saw him in her bedroom, actually.
When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance.
Oh.
Or that Edie had a key to it.
There's too many open flames near too many books. I have to continue to say that. Library of Babel, the Book of Wonder, Labyrinths. Just more proof that they pick the books based on the place you are in the story.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house.
It's not the house's problem, it's the family's problem.
Edith, has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories!
It's a bed and a typewriter. Someone living here?
I
No.
think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight.
There's no way, right?
We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
This feels big. Dawn Finch. The mysteries of death and the afterlife. The night you were born, Odin. The field of people. The houses. History of the Finches by Edith Finch. This is why we haven't gotten Edie yet, is because we haven't read Edith Finch's book.
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you.
Sorry, punch the
There's
microphone.
only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born.
Those were notes she was
That
making to
night,
herself.
The tide went way, way out.
This is about what happened on the night you were born. It was 1999. The tide went out. You could make it to the old house?
It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You
Dead
know,
stuff?
I've seen that house every day of my life.
Dead wood, maybe? I can't tell what that is. By the way, confirmation of the alcohol and pills problem at dinner with Edie. And also, Dawn
I never
blames
thought I'd go back to it.
the stories on her children's death.
When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. I started seeing things.
Yep, the deer. I mean, maybe you actually saw the deer. I'm very lost. I think that's the
Things
point,
I'd
though.
forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. never saw Great Grandma Edie again.
Aw.
The next morning, the band came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly.
Aw.
She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself.
And have the chance
I guess
to.
if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Oh. Ian Dallas is the creative director, and it was for Shirley Dallas. I wonder if that was mom, grandma. Wow. Quite the little twist there at the end. I think we were giving birth, and I believe that it's possible Edith died in childbirth. I don't know. Either way, it said 2017, right? Yeah, so she must have. I think so. 2016 or 2017 on her tombstone. Oh, that's so good. We do assume when we're holding a book that says Edith Finch that we would know who it is. That is who we are. And obviously, we are Edith for the first... Sorry, we would assume that we are Edith and that Edith is the end of the line. Sorry, I'm loving these photos. Holy cow. What a cool idea. I'm guessing these are children, photos of all of the people as children, which is haunting and very cool. But then Edith's child is there leaving flowers on the grave. So when we're on the ferry, I'm trying to remember if while we're on the ferry and holding the flowers, do we get to see our own hands? I can't remember if we're wearing the gloves and if we're Edith in that situation, or if we are just once we land on the land. Anyways. What a wild and lovely game. Oh. I'm still full of questions, of course, right? I'm still full of questions. I wonder what the rest of Edith's story was. Sorry, of Edie's written story was. What she saw the night that she went back to the house. I don't know that we're given enough clues to piece it together. Maybe there's something that I'm missing there. And now I want to see if I could go back into the library, right? I wonder if it's ever possible to enter the library. I think it took a key to open that door, so I don't think so. Probably not. Anyways, I've got questions about the ending that I'm still working through in my head, and I think I probably will be for a while. But the Edith Finch team, 2012 to 2017, very cool. The end. Replay a story option is now available. Select Edith to play from the beginning. Okay. And you can click on different things. Okay. Interesting. Huh. Okay. So, what do I say after a game like that? Wow. I had a guess that we were probably... how do I say this? In games like this, in some ways it matters less what actually happened and more what can be conveyed through the type of telling. And so I have so many questions, right? I have questions mostly about what happened. What happened to Barbara? What Edie's story was that she was not finished telling in that journal. How exactly Edith died. Let's see here. I wonder exactly what Dawn died from. I wonder where Milton got off to. Like what actually happened to Milton. I wonder what actually happened to a lot of the people here. But most of them I think we have pretty good answers for, minus potentially Barbara. Milton. Did Edith just die during childbirth? I'm not sure. It's possible that I missed some details for sure. And it's possible some of those are just meant to be a little bit more. And Molly. I'm pretty sure Molly got poisoned. Poisoned herself. But what I think is important probably at the end of all of this is that, like, getting more answers to those type of questions doesn't change all that dramatically the overall summative experience of walking through a narrative that is so experimental or avant-garde, however you want to say it, in terms of structure and like immersion and like this game. I think like at least 95% of the effect and the feeling and the takeaway for me about playing this game is just the like first the theme of self-fulfilling prophecy versus curse, and the like spiraling into self-harm versus a magical curse that was happening to this family. This human thing that happens where you assign a narrative to your life and you struggle to get out of it for better or for worse. I look at this sheet of characters and I see a lot of pretty tragic characters that still might have had tragedy happen to them, but that might have also been involved in their own, in their own downfall. Also, what was happening with the shaking in Walter? Were there actually earthquakes? I mean, Washington gets earthquakes a good amount, right? What was happening with the shaking there? I'm not sure. Anyways. The other thing I think about is this, is that this game is, if this game is about, the last thing I'll say before I get out of here is that, to me, my writer brain thinks about this game in terms of perspective. The incredible, I think it's one of the first things I said about this game, which is that we're being told a story and we're also experiencing one. We're in a game and we're also being told a narrative. And so we have this double life that we're living at all times, where we are Edith and also Edith is talking to us. We are Molly and also Molly is talking to us. The same way that we have sort of two lived experiences when we're looking through the peephole into Molly's room and then living Molly's experience inside of it, or even walking through it as Edith. And I think that's just sort of a lovely, I think that's a really incredible decision from this game about, on the topic of how humans perceive each other and how we talk and how we let each other in or force each other out. And obviously this game has a lot to say about trauma and grief and cool buddy on that note. But I think I'm willing and happy to leave it there. What a game. This was incredible. It left me with in true literary style, it left me with as many questions as it did answers. And I very much look forward to seeing comments down below about frankly, your thoughts, your guesses. I'm wondering if I missed things. I'm very interested to see if I missed things. How do you think Barbara died? What was the shaking that happened with Walter? What do you think this game is about? To me, it's that sort of, it's what I've just spent the last 10 minutes rambling about. But maybe it's something quite different to you. I'm not sure. The thing that really good written stories do is that in the space that they leave for interpretation and in the seeds of doubt that they sow through unreliable narrators, time and distance between the events happening in the story, lies of omission, or just outright lies, they cause really fruitful doubt in story. At least some stories do, and this one did too. And I have lots of fruitful doubt. I'm still trying to figure some things out, and I look forward to, if you want to tell me your theories, your thoughts. I also want to go read 5 reviews about this game. Anyways, I'm rambling. That's going to do it for What Remains of Edith Finch. What a game. I wonder what happens if you replay stories. I don't know. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for bearing with me as I very slowly made my way through this experience and tried to, share some writer thoughts and also just react as a human. This was lovely and so fucking weird. Shout out to Annapurna Interactive for publishing another great game. That's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed any part of it, a like or a positive comments down below helps us out with the YouTube algorithm. If you love this game and you also want to share our playthrough with somebody else who likes this game, that helps me out a ton. I have no idea if this series will do very well. It's a great game. I know that it's kind of a niche game, but I love those games. So thanks so much for spending your time with me, and I will see you in another video. Until then, have a great rest of your day. Much love. Bye-bye.